Start panna. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Nama Pranavartaya Shuddha Jnanaika Murtaye Nirmalaya Prakash Shantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Nipige Sharva Vidhyanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sharva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Yasam Tadojayam Utirayet Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishnam Narayanam Vande, Krishnam Vande Vrajapriyam, Krishnam Dvaipayanam Vande, Krishnam Vande Ptasudam. Janmatyasya Yadonyaditardhas Chadesh Abhignaswarat Tene Brahmagritaya Adikaviye Muhyandi Asurayah Tejo Varivrtanyatay Vinimayo Yatratishagomsha Damna Svena Satanirastagurgam Satyam Param Dhimahi Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sharvapava Pranashanam Pranamo Dukta Samanaha Tam Namami Harim Param Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwabhatyadi Hedave Tabatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha Yam Praprajantam Anupetam Apedakrityam Dvaipayano Vedakadra Ajuhava Putre Tanmaya Taravo Abineduhu Tam Sarva Bhuta Kritayam Munimanadosmi. We finished the first chapter of the Bhagavata Mahatmyam. This is from the Padmapurana. Padmapurana contains Gita Mahatmyam as well as Bhagavata Mahatmyam. In the Uttara Cantam, in the Padmapuranam, chapter 193 to 196 contains the Prabhalyam of Shrimad Bhagavata. So we finished the first chapter, which is chapter 193. In that, the context was given that Shaunaka Maharishi, who is a scholar, especially in Rigvedam, on the instruction of Brahma, looking for a guru to give him solution for peace in the Kali Yuga. Therefore, they meet Sudha Pauranikas in Naimisharanyam. Naimisharanyam is a place where satsangam happens. Sudha is the Pauranika. Basically, he is the narrator. He is a folk fair narrator. So the Veda Rishi goes to the Pauranikas asking for a solution. So there it gives an implication that even though you study Vedas, you get a scholastic acclaim, you got to have devotion. Then Sudha Pauranika started narrating the story, the history rather, of how he was fortunate to listen to Shuga Brahman, who is the son of Vyasa, Veda Vyasa. How Shuga Brahman has given the Shrimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit. And that story I'm narrating you. And before I narrate this, I will tell you the glory of Shrimad Bhagavatam. So this is how the context was set in. Then Sudha Pauranika was narrating an incident that he witnessed, in which sage Narada, who is the Brahmajnani, were deluded sometime, and he was wandering in the Mother Earth looking for peace. And Narada was met by the Sanat Kumaras, the Manasa Putras of Brahma. Therefore, Sanat Kumaras are the brothers of Narada. So Sanat Kumaras are Brahmagyani by birth. So they met Narada and stopped him, in fact, and told him, why are you wandering around? What's wrong? The Narada narrates an incident. So it's like a story within story within story. I'm just narrating it back to bring back the memories for you. So Narada said, look, I am looking for a solution which has happened, which the need for which has happened after I have witnessed a wonderful event at Vrindavan. Then he narrated the story. The story was that having learned that Prithvi, the Bhumi, is the place where one attains liberation, whereas in all other lokas, one go to attain bhogas for punyas, dukkhas for the papas, and when they are finished, they have to come down to the karma bhumi, which is the bhumi, earth, in which you have to perform tapas and attain liberation. Therefore, thinking that bhumi will have jnanis and satsangams all the time, Narada wandered in the Mother Earth, and especially in the pious places, which is in Bharata Bhumi, in all the tirthas, punya tirthas, kshetras. Then he explained, he gave around 20-25 different pointers, saying that I'm disappointed coming to this world because I see adharma become the mitras. Dharma has gone. People are no courtesy. Nobody is truthful. Pious people are not controlling the life. Women have to take care of their families because men are not working. So on and so forth. He narrates the Kalis. And when he was coming through Vrindavan, he saw a wonderful sight, an awe-inspiring sight, because there was an young lady, a beautiful young lady, lamenting, consoling, and trying to wake up two old people next to her, and surrounded by thousands of maids serving her. So curiously, Narada went and asked her who it is. And before even Narada goes there, that woman looks at him and stops Narada and says, "Oh Maharishi, stop by and show me compassion." So Narada goes and asks her who you are. And she says, I am called Bhakti. So these two are Jnanam and Vairagyam. They are my children. I was born in Dakshina Bharat, in Dravida Desam, in Tamil Nadu, nurtured in Karnataka, Maharashtra. I grew by that. When I reached Gujarat, I attained maturity, adulthood, but that's the time also I got deteriorated because atheists came in, invaders came in, militias came in. Bhakti has gone to the backseat. So because nobody cared about us, we aged and become very tired. But then when I was wandering around, when I come to Vrindavan, where the Hari's Leela took place, I attained my youth. I am now as beautiful as I was. But surprisingly, these two children are still old. So therefore, I understand this is the Kali's cause. And you are a Maharishi. Tell me, why this Kali is not being driven away by Parikshit, the king? He is supposed to take care of the people. Why is Mahavishnu, the Lord Krishna, did not tolerate, did not erode this? How did he accept this Kali? And why am I getting the youthhood, but not my children? So she put this kind of questions. Then in the first chapter, Narada said, the Kali is the cause of it, but I will also give you the reason why Parikshit did not kill or did not erode Kali out of this kingdom. Because when Parikshit was wandering around this place looking for evil to get rid of, this Kali surrendered to him, asked for his favor. As a just king, he gave his word, but then realizing it, in Kali Yuga, even though adharma is being nourished by all the janas, there is a positive sign in Kali, because Kali does not require people to do very severe austerities, great tapas, great penance, yajnams, babies. You don't need to do it. Just by reciting Bhagavan Nama, they can attain all the benefits of what you could get in Kreta Yuga, in Dwapara Yuga, in Satya Yuga. Therefore, Kali has got a very easy means for redemption. So in spite of the problems in Kali, there is a tunnel and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So for this single reason, Kali should be protected. Therefore, Parikshit gave the word, you will be there, but you will not touch people who are devoted to Lord. Thus he answered part of the question that Bhakti asked. Then he said, the last part of the Shlokas, Bhagavan also accepted this as a Yuga Dharma. It will happen like this. Times will change, things will erode, values will change. I will come back, Sambhavami Yuga Yuga, I will come back and reset that. So God also accepted these are inevitable. So there is a lesson there, because don't blame for problems in this world, because the problems or grief is not in the object itself. Sweetness or the happiness or the sadness is not in the things that you see, but how you see it. So therefore, it is your perspective need to change. There is nothing is ever good, ever bad. The goodness and badness is how you take it, how you accept it. This Kali also giving you all these evil ways of doing things, but always telling you, you have the power, the willpower to take control back. And to get the willpower, you need the help of the God. You need devotion. So, Bhagavata Mahatmyam means the glory of not the Shrimad Bhagavatam text itself. Okay, there is a glory of the text. That's the reason why we are laboring the point. Instead of giving the story, I'm going through the shloka by shloka to show you, to kindle interest in learning Sanskrit, of course, and some of you learning Sanskrit, some of you know Sanskrit. I want to give you some insight, but also the lucidity of the text, the glory of it. But the Lakshyartham is not the text itself. Bhagavatam means three things: Bhagavan, Bhakti, and Bhagavataha. So when you glorify Shrimad Bhagavatam, what it means, you glorify Bhagavan. Naturally, you glorify Bhagavan, because glorification is not exaggerating. It's not praising somebody for something that he doesn't have. It's flattery we do. But in Bhagavan's case, glorification is a submission of our feeling to God, about God, knowing very well that whatever we say will be inadequate, because he is indescribable. That's one thing. But you don't need Bhagavatam to tell you that. You know that. We all taught that God is great. That's fine. But the importance comes from glorification of Bhakti and Bhaktas. Bhagavatas are Bhagavatas. Bhagavatas are not just the Bhagavatas who come to the stage and sing. Of course, they are Bhagavatas. They personify Bhakti. But when you listen, you are a Bhagavata. When you have Bhakti, you are a Bhagavata. So therefore, the Mahatmyam talks about Bhagavan and Bhakti and Bhagavata. So the first chapter, the context is said, in this chapter, you're going to talk about the Bhakti's glory. Right? The Bhagavata story will come as a part of the interlude. Now, to understand the glory of Bhakti, Bhakti has been personified. Is it not? The lady that is there who is called Bhakti. Sometimes we find it very difficult. We call it as a story. We call it as a myth. Call it mythology. It's not the case. How can a Bhakti, which we think is a concept, can be personified? Everything can be objectified. Every thought, everything that you see in this world, every creation that you have in this world is an idea. The computer is an idea. The book is an idea. The house is an idea. An idea creates a concept creates a construct creates a structure becomes gross. You touch and feel it. Everything in this world, what is in today, what was there yesterday, what is going to be there tomorrow, is in somebody's idea. This is a very profound thought. Therefore, when Bhakti is personified, Bhakti is a concept, a word, with 3 letters or 4 letters. But it is personified. How is it possible? Oh, this is a storytelling. It's not a storytelling. An idea can be personified. An idea can become an object. Because the whole Vedantam is about, the whole world is God's idea. The world is created from the God's idea. How do you prove it? Proof is within us. You create a world in your dream. When you are dreaming, we saw in the Padmapurana class, when you dream, you create your own world. Who gave you the materials for it? You. Who gave the idea? You. But is it tangible? Yes. I experience it. I cry nightmares. I cry. Good dreams I cherish. Even my body sometimes shakes. So there is a real experience in a world that my thoughts create. Therefore, this world in which we are playing, a physical aspect of it, is also somebody's dream. It's God's dream. The concept becomes personification. So here, the reason I'm saying this is because don't just write off, is this a story? Sometimes even I say Bhakti here is personified to illustrate a point. That's a side benefit. But you have to really feel Bhakti comes as a lady. Only when you have that bhavam, you can see divinity in people. Otherwise, your gross nature will come. You cannot see a Mahatma as a god. He is also drinking coffee. He's also having, go to the washroom. So he's got all the natural thing that I do. How come you become divine? So we get into this kind of a paralytic analysis. So we lose the divinity that we see in others. So Bhakti has been personified. Bhakti lives as a character. So in this chapter, maybe the first 20-25 slokas, he's going to praise Bhakti. So let's see what it is. So it's second chapter. So now the story. So Bhakti is waiting, Narada is continuing. So he's saying, Vrita ketayase bhale, aho chinta tura kadam, Sri Krishna sharanam bhojam, smara dukkham hamishyati. So again, it starts in a very beautiful slogan. Sri Krishna Sharana Ambojam Smara. He is giving Maha Mantram to Bhakti. Aho Bale, oh Penne, oh lady, oh young lady. He says, Vrita Ketayese. Vrita Ketayese means unnecessarily you are worrying. You are like what Bhagavan tells to Arjuna. You are worrying for things that you are not supposed to be worrying. So Gita starts. Same way here he says, Chinta Turakata. Chinta means your mind Tura katham. It's gone into delusion. You are unnecessarily you are worried. So don't. Because Sri Krishna Charana Ambojam Smara. Smara is a Kriya Padam. Smara means memorize, think. What I should think? You should think Sri Krishna Charana Ambojam. Ambujam means lotus. So Pankajam, Ambujam. Ambu means water. Jam. Whatever comes out of the water is lotus. Pang means mud. Pangajam. When whatever comes out of the mud is lotus. Of course, lily comes in, so many other things comes in. But predominantly it has become referring to lotus. Lotus is very important because the character of lotus is, it is coming out of complete muck, filth, dirt, but it is pure. It grows up, the filth, the mud cannot touch it. It keeps on growing. And the leaves don't get polluted by it. So this is the best example of Janma. Whenever you take Janma, don't complain, I want to a poor family, bad parents, poor company, impoverished. Whatever muck that you are having around you, you can raise above that. So you are a Pangajam. That Pangajam is in our heart. Now here it says, the Pangajam that is in your heart, that's your very nature, your Jiva Bodham, Jiva Bhavam, is the feet of Krishna, which means we are under the feet of Krishna. That you smara, that you think. So it's divine instruction. So therefore, what do I should do? Should I take a Krishna statue and look at the feet? Yes, you can do. Or if you just look at the Krishna's feet in your mind all the time, think about it. Yes, you do. Or the divine feet is the Ambujam lotus that is in my heart, that is my consciousness. Therefore, should I always meditate on consciousness? That you do. See, it takes you from the Shaguna Brahma Upasana to your internal thinking, to your Atmajnana Vicharan. We are always going to bring Vedanta into this because Shrimad Bhagavatam is Vedanta. Narada is going to say, forget Vedas, forget Veda Jnanam, just do Bhakti, enough. What does it mean? If I just have Bhakti, then in some place it says, Jnanameva Kaivalyam, without Jnanam I can't do it. Some place it says, you do this Sahasranama Parayanam, Ayyappa Vridam. So which one I should take? Namasamgitvam, you say. Everything is one. You know, when a child is worried about the exam, the mother won't say, don't go and study. So, come, eat the food. Pray to Swami. Put some vibhuti or tilak on his head. Go, take rest. What does it mean? But he is giving a way to get you prepared for the ultimate. So for them, there's nothing else is needed. Just eat or just have this bath. So have an oil bath today. Your heat will go away. It doesn't look correlated to the cause and effect, but it is what you need. So in Kali, what we need is bhakti. Just devote yourself. Just do Nama Parayanam. Just do surrender to God. If you do that, everything will happen. So that is how you should take it. You know, not taking a very dogmatic view. Oh, I now learn Bhagavatam and Nam Pangatam, Bhajan is very important. I don't do puja, I don't do this, I don't do Jnana Vicharam. You don't do that. That is a Dambika Bhakti. That's not a Bhakti that Narada is going to talk about. It's about the Bhakti. See, Bhakti is love. How does love comes in? You know, this is what we're struggling in life. You know, in life, what we do, we try to find love, try to give love. The first thing we do is love, we define a boundary that it has to be related to me. That's where the love is. That's a it's a fundamental step, because when the relationship, parental love, siblings love, companions love is what gives you protection, gives you food. But you think about where you get sufferings. You don't get suffer because you're a neighbor or a next street pastor or somebody in another country. No. You suffer because you have problem with your family, with your loved ones. Therefore, the love that you have with your family and everything is very important, but that has got a reason. The reason is security, bonding, filing. You see, in fact, even if you go in a little bit insight into this, the janma we taken is to expend our papa punya. That means papa means I must suffer. The more I suffer, my papa get discounted. The more I enjoy, my punyam get discounted. At some stage, I come back to zero case, near zero case. And instead of getting liberated, I born again, I accumulate this, right? And this is the law of karma. So if I am given birth as a part of the law of karma, it is God's duty to give me an ambience where I can enjoy, suffer my dues in this body embodiment. That is why we get the birth that we get, the family that we get, the family we deserve, the partners we deserve. You may have one relationship in your family who is giving you always happiness. There is one which will give you always trouble. Both are needed because here it is they are there as a punching bag to get rid of your Baba Punya. Therefore, you have to live with them, coexist with them, and therefore there is an affinity. You call it love, that's fine. But it cannot be pure. Oh, no, I am not like that. I love everybody else. I love my neighbor. Everybody I love. That's good. You evolve that. But again, you will attach the minus to this. My neighbor, my countryman, my religion, my caste, my family, my village, my school. That's fine. It's better than born to your own family. But again, the minus comes through because the minus is artificial. You know, we believe in reincarnation, right? We have reason to believe there must be more birth. So imagine if I'm dead, I come back to this world and I come as your worst enemy. You don't know it. I'm not anymore. You're my friend. No. So the my is also temporal. So therefore, love is also limited. Love is also finite. So what is then love is? Love is that which you dearly love, which you cannot live without it. No matter what it is, that's what you love. But is there anybody like that? Okay. If you think about it, yes, there is somebody. That is yourself. You may not accept it, but you love yourself. You love yourself. That's the reason why you reflect the love on others. I love my wife because when she cooks that food, it's delicious to me. She takes care of me. Therefore, it is my happiness and she is instrumental. Therefore, I express a part of my love to her. That love is pure still, but it is because it is making me happy. Therefore, love yourself. That love has to be unblemished, pure. But how does it come to bhakti? Now, when I say love myself, I have a problem. Again, there's a minus is there. But then I ask the question, who am I? So you come back to this, the most important toll gate of spiritual progress. You cannot escape this. I am that consciousness which is free from everything else. I am this ambujam, hridayambujam, utterly selfless, utterly unbound, asankaha. The body is not attached to it, mind is not attached to it. I am watching, I am the drishta, I am the seer. But when I am the seer, I am no other than the spark of the Paramatma. Therefore, I am that Paramatma. Now, that is where you need to go. That love is bhakti. That is a true love. Now, to go to that love, you need to really have the method of approaching, method of cultivating it. That's why Shaguna Brahma Bhashana comes. In every puja, when we do, whether it's a Krishna puja, Rama puja, Vinayaka puja, Shiva puja, the acharyas will teach you after some time, before the puja starts, something called prana pratishta. So you say some mantras and then you take some water and then pour onto the Swami and say prana pratishta. And you say that, I don't want to say the mantras, you say all these things and they bring the thing to the. And when the puja is finished, you say agachami, you send back the pratishta and take the water, take it inside. So what you've done is you've taken your consciousness or Atma in the Pratima, in the Vigraham, and then you do puja. So you do puja to yourself. This yourself, you have to be very careful, not the. So here, okay, I just diversed because I wanted to give you the rest of the slogan. When you understand bhakti, don't have this view that therefore jnanam is not important. This bhakti is the unconditional bhakti. Bhakti that is gopis bhakti. Gopikas bhakti. So we'll see that. So here he says, Krishna charana ambujam smara. When you do that, dukkham hamishyati. Hamishyati means just it will leave by itself. So bhakti, don't worry. Pray to Krishna. Now you need to prove it. So to prove this, Narada gives you two examples. Draupadi cha paritrata yena kaurava kasmalat palita gopasuntarya sa Krishna kwabino gataha. Sri Krishna Sharanam, Krishna Bhakti makes the dukkham pradishyati, hamishyati. For that he gives you two examples. One example is Draupadi. Draupadi, you know the story of Draupadi, of course. So her bhakti is taken as one of the finest nature of bhakti. And her bhakti also come through different evolution. She was incarnated for a particular reason, and therefore she had a Icha, Kriya in this world. At some stage, when was the absolute utmost bhakti of her got revealed? When she is put into the most difficult test. Her chastity is questioned, her virginity is questioned, her virtuousness is questioned. By what? Kaurava kasmalat. Kasmalam means normally blemish. Here you can say kasmala means the evil act of Kauravas. Draupadi cha paritrata. Yena, by whom? Now he's giving an adjective to Krishna. By whom? Kaurava kasmalat. From the kasmala, from the blemish, from the evil act of Kauravas, Draupadi paritrata. Draupadi was, see, when Duchadana was pulling the thing, she was looking at all her mitras, all her husband. Nobody is answering anything. They are powerless. They are bound by the dharma which they construct among themselves without understanding the jnana of it. Therefore, they are bound. They are not doing anything. So what she does is she tried and she sold the thing, her sari, and then raised a hand, Krishna, Krishna. And in that kind of absolute tragedy, a tranquility comes in. So this is why Kunti is supposed to be also a great devotee, because Kunti always prays for dukkha. Give me more suffering, more suffering, more suffering. That's a very profound bhakti, because what happens when you have dukkha? You blame God, you blame evil, you blame everything. And then you say, God, help me out. Why are you playing this game? So you are pushed to take God as the only solace for you when the tragedy strikes you so hard. So therefore, never ever complain when the problem comes in. Never complain. Because that is the reason, that is the exercise that is God given you to practice so that you can change your orientation towards God. Pure love comes out. So he said, Govinda, Dwaraka Vastin, Krishna, Gopi Janapriya. Gopi Janapriya is the word Draupadi uses in Mahabharata. Mahabharata is not really explaining more about Krishna Lila in Vrindavan. In Dwaraka and Mathura is that. He says, Gopi Janapriya, Gauravihi Pariputam Mam, Kimna Janasi Keshava, He Nata, He Ramanata, Prajana, Dukkanashana. He goes on like this. He's praying, Prapannam Pahi. Govinda, Gurumati Avasita. In the Kurumati, among the Kauravas, this deluded version, I am stuck. Prapannam Pahi. Protect me. What happened then? Bhagavan Krishna has just instructed all her Purva Punyas to become a sari for her. And her Punyas are so deep, sari keeps on coming, and you know the story, you know it. So, Dukkam Amishyati. Dukkam is gone. But there you see, what did she say? Krishna Gopi Janapriya. Gopikas, for the Gopikas population, you are a lover of Gopikas. So Draupadi is quoting Gopikas Bhakti. So Palita, Gopa Samudharyaha, Gopa Sundaryaha, Saha Krishnaha, Kwa Api na Kada. Oh, it's beautiful. Kwa Api na Gataha. He is giving adjectives for Krishna. One adjective for who has rescued Draupadi. Other adjective was Palita Gopa Sundarya. Gopikas, the beautiful Gopikas, who protected Gopita? Krishna. Kwa Api na Gataha. Where is Krishna gone? Krishna has not gone anywhere. First he said, pray to Krishna. The second sloka he says, Krishna has not gone anywhere. Therefore, get hold of him. That Krishna is the one who protected Draupadi and protected Gopikas. You know, the Gopikas is also very, very important to understand in the right way. You will understand only if you remove the thinking that Bhagavatam or Puranam is a story. It's a myth. If you think that way, sometimes we try to do that because sometimes there are inexplicable things that happen. Then we immediately say, because we are unable to explain that, we say, we rationalize it. Oh, no. This is a story. It's just an allegory. This is just an illustration. So rational thinking is logic-based. That's what we say, right? It's logical. Yes. Logic sounds very scientific, right? This word is very bombastic. But logic is a slave of facts. When you are discussing logic, you have to share facts. Otherwise, logic doesn't work. So facts is, what is fact? You have to now think as a Vedantic students. Facts are that what your mind factorizes. It may have a tangible evidence that you can share. Sometimes there may be intangible evidence which you cannot share, but it can be factorized as a fact. Therefore, mind plays an important role in factorizing it, but your mind is not my mind. It's an intangible power of thinking. Therefore, factor itself is an assumed trust in logic. See how faith is coming into this? Logic is very scientific. You know, if you do all the great algorithm you develop, we say, let X be this. You know, we put an axiom. We start with an assumption, and then we try to justify the existence of assumption. We don't prove randomness because our sample space is so small, so we think there's a random number. A number can never be random if the space is bigger and bigger and bigger. So therefore, logic, other thing is, if it's fact, means the fact has to be in a way tangible in this world. Therefore, I cannot explain my dream as a logic. If I come and tell you, hey, I went to Mars yesterday, I had 2 trips. On the way back, I landed in the moon, I had some breakfast and then came down. And you laugh at it. I experienced it in my dream. You'll say, that's illogical. It's just a dream. Therefore, we reject dream as not logic. So what is dream then? It's a thought. Oh, I had an intuition. We in management science, in business schools or in offices, the culture intuition. Be creative, intuitive, bring solutions to the problems, create concepts. So therefore, logic is one thing, fact is one thing, intuition is something else. Again, the intuition is again personal. But there is something beyond all this, which is the common denominator, which is fundamental for all science, upper science and para science. It's called reasoning. Reasoning is, it's very difficult to define reasoning. What is reasoning is? Reasoning is a conglomeration of all these faculties of your contemplative thinking and come to a conclusion. So reasoning is a gift of God. This is the buddhi. This is what buddhi is. It's not a vivek, it's not intellect. The buddhi, that which reasons out. So if you reason out, then you will see Bhagavata Puranam, Gopikas are not mythological characters. They are real people, but they so happen to be fully aware of Godhood, divinity, and they had complete bhakti, total surrender, pure bhakti. And because we cannot do that, then we invent a story that Gopikas are special angels brought down to Vrindavan in this Kali Yuga to play with Krishna. Therefore, their bhakti is natural. Now, this is basically an exception clause for us to not rise to the level. The simple question is, can't you love yourself unconditionally? And if you say no, there is something wrong. You should be able to love yourself unconditionally. If you can love yourself unconditionally, then you are Gopika. You can love God. In the Gopika story, when Krishna comes in, the mother who is feeding a child will drop feeding. Mother bathing the child will stop bathing. Someone who's wearing this, probably is putting the shadows of the eyes, she stopped putting it. So Bhagavatam talks about this Gopika's behavior bound by this love. Okay. If you take it as a physical love on the beauty of the Krishna, it'll take you somewhere. But this is this pure love. This is seeing. They don't want to see Krishna. The Krishna is in them. But if he does come, if his flute, when Krishna plays the flute and they hear them, they lose the consciousness. I remember reading an anecdote many years back. Sringeri Guru, Paramaguru, what is here two generations before, and he was doing this Lalita Sahasranam Archana, and one particular mantra, he just stopped. He did not do anything. And people thought, he was sleeping, he was just working tired. You lose everything. All Vedas are gone, mantras are gone. Because you are one with God. That is bhakti, that kind of bhakti. Just to reinforce a point, another narration comes in Bhagavatam. So Uddhava's, the bhakti also, if you take bhakti as your quality, your capability, like jnanam is my capability. If you take it like this, there's a risk that you become very arrogant. If it is a possession of yours, it is your richness, then you become arrogant. I have knowledge. You are falling down. See, what is knowledge? Now, if these days, what's called knowledge computing. Those days called data processing. process the data bits 0 and 1. Then it becomes information processing. Because data is fine, now we come to that, that's information I can process. Now knowledge processing. Machine learning, artificial intelligence. What is knowledge? Can you define knowledge? Knowledge is no more a possession of, not your faculty. Knowledge becomes a digital image. A machine can interpret knowledge. So knowledge is objectified. So where to the next step I can go? So that's why possession is becoming. So this Uddhava is a great devotee of Lord Krishna, and his devotion has made him think that he is the best in praying. Sometimes we say, "Oh my God, this is my Ishtadevata. Nothing. Nobody can pray like me. I am so devoted. I am the best." That's an arrogance. So he got this because the moment you say, even Ashtavagra says, he was not doing anything. He was not offering himself to God. And because once he said, "I surrender myself to you," if you really meaning that one, tomorrow you cannot do the same thing because you don't have yourself. You are given to God. You are not there anymore. How can I pray again to God? How can I offer myself to God? You see? That's why we should never question sometimes, some great people don't pray to God. Don't offer the same prayer that we do. But you don't know what their maturity is. So here, Uddhava is having this view that I am the best kind of a thing. So Bhagavan wanted to teach him a lesson. So he's one day sitting there holding his head like this. "Oh my God, my head is aching." Uddhava comes in. "Bhagavan, what's wrong?" So, "My head is aching, spinning. I don't know what to do. I think there is a cure for it." Uddhava says, "Tell me, I can get the cure. I need Gopika's dhuli." Dhuli means the dust in the feet. Gopika pada dhuli I need. I need to take the dust of the Gopika's feet, and if you put on my forehead, my headache will go. Can you please go get it for me?" Uddhava said, "What is this? But how can somebody's feet dust can touch God? Feet, we consider feet to be the, lowest form of our body, and which is wrong anyway. And if you show the feet to God, and it's a disrespect and so on and so forth, and how can you take a dust from a feet and put on God's head? This is something which is not right. Bhagavan says, no, you please, can you go and get it? My head is really spinning. And he said, "By the way, a long way to go. Take my chariot. You ride, go take it." So Uddhava takes his chariot and goes. When you pray to God, Sarubhyam. So when you devote to God, you become like God. Your appearance. What it means is that you get glory, you get light, you get. You can see. When people are devoted, do Sandhyavandanams, do this Ramaparayanam, do the Japams, you can see an aura around them. Like that. So Uddhava also like Krishna, he got an aura there. But he's taking the chariot and he's going to the Vrindavan. The chariot is coming, hearing that chariot sound, looking at Krishna's chariots. Gopikas come in mass. They come in a big ground, going around this chariot, crying, smiling, laughing. Uddhava said, "What is it? They're not even seeing me. They're just looking around the chariot." Chariot himself gives them that. So he's positively puzzled. He stops this. And then they also adore him as Krishna. And he says, "Look, I am not Krishna, I am Uddhava. Krishna has sent me here for you." He said, "Yeah, what is that?" He said, "Oh, Krishna has got a headache." The moment he said headache and somebody faints and somebody is crying, somebody is weeping, somebody is jumping up and down, what can I do? Can I give my soul? I said, no. Don't have all those emotions. He thinks the emotional thing they're playing. Don't do all these things. There's a definite cure I need. I need from your feet the dust particles. I need to take those dust and take it to Bhagavan. And when it applies to his head, he'll be fine. Who dares to do it? Remember, showing your feet or using the blemish from your body and applying on the God, it'll give you hell in life. But the gopis come forward. Hell, bring it on. Who cares about hell? If I can have a Krishna Smarana, hell is my heaven. If I don't have a Krishna Smarana, heaven is a hell. Take this. So Uddhava takes it, comes back to Bhagavan. And then he puts it. So this is the allegory. This is basically an illustration to show that is bhakti. So the bhakti is where, so that way they can do. See, when will you put your dirt from your thing on somebody's head as a cure? You don't even do it on your child, on your father, or husband, because it's disrespect. But if you know that will cure your headache, would you not do it? You will do anything for yourself. Because for you, yourself, there is nothing lower, nothing inferior, nothing superior. It's you. My body is same as my head. My every part of body is as holy as my heart, as far as I am concerned. But therefore, if I consider God as myself, within myself, then I have no inhibition. This is where the insight is. So, say this. Then he says, Tvantu bhaktihi priya tasya sadatam pranatu adhika tvayahu dastu bhagavan yati nisha griheshvapi. Okay. Tvantu bhaktihi pranadaha adhika. So now you say, telling bhakti, tvam, in you, bhakti, pranataka atika. Pranaha atika. So he is more than his own life. Tasya priya satatam. So satatam, always at you, in you, there is love. That love is bigger than his own soul, more dearly than himself. Who is God? Bhagavan. Bhagavan. So what he's saying is that Bhagavan is loving you. Bhagavan is loving devotion. Why does Bhagavan love devotion? We're going to learn that later. But here he says, Bhagavan is loving you more than his own soul. If that is the case, Tvaya ahutahadu nicha griheshu api Bhagavan yati. Nicha griheshu api. Even the nicha graham, even those house of an evil person, Bhagavan yati. Yati means you'll go. Bhagavan gati. Bhagavan will go to even to the worst place in this world. Yep. When? Tvaya ahudahatu. Tvaya, by you, ahutam. Ahutam means when you appeal, plea, when you request, when you ask for, when you ask Bhagavan, when you call Bhagavan, he will go even to the evil's house. So he is giving here, and I probably will stop it now here. In the 3 verses, what he has given is, your dukkham havishyati, it will go away if you have a Krishna Saranam Smara, if you devote it to Krishna. It is proven by many, many lives like Draupadi, like Gopikas, Uddhavas. But for you, O Bhakti, you are so dear to God, more than his soul. And therefore, if you call him, he will come. He will come. Right now, if you think that your place is very dirty and filthy, this world is filthy, don't worry about it. God will come because he is prepared to come even to Nicha Graha. So you can. So he is giving motivation to it. I wanted to do 10 slokas, but I only could do 3. So we will do next class. So the import of this is in the first 20-25 slokas, Narada is going to tell us the glory of bhakti. So therefore, By learning this, we reorient our approach to bhakti. That's the essence of it. Om Ashadoma Sadgamaya Tamashoma Jyotirgamaya Pratyoma Amridam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradhana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.